is good that you're actually able to unpack it. Unpack it because you have to. If you don't unpack it,
And this is great content, by the way. This is this might be like a little side episode or something. Bonus clip. But welcome to the Monikkz Project. I'm your host, Monikkz. I'd love to thank my guys for coming on here. I got my brother Sean Paul, my brother Cesar over here. Cesar's a returning guest of the Tough Block podcast. We were dying to get my brother Sean Paul on. What's up, Christian? Christian just came through, my brother. And, so I just wanted to get you guys on, tell your story. You know, Jefe, this is a new podcast platform, so I'd like you to share your story. Yeah, I wanted to get into it. So first off, before we get anywhere, can you guys give out your handles or where everybody can find you?
Well, first off, I'm just thankful. This is my first podcast ever.
Let's go.
Like, I literally wanted to just yell out, "Mama, I'm on the radio!" But no, I'm just thankful for this opportunity. You know, I actually got two Instagram handles. My personal one where I actually have my family and some of the stuff where I actually go to a lot of music festivals or raving. Hit me up at Shawnee Boy SP. And I also do have my athlete page, BJJ, Champloo, SP. Champloo, is actually, comes from an anime called Samurai Champloo. It's actually one of my favorite animes, of all time.
Nice.
It's pretty cool because it actually means like something in the lines of like different style. So I think that it just kind of just gives my personality. It combines my personality and like the art of jiu-jitsu. Hence why I love my handle BJJ Champloo. So
nice.
I always wonder about that.
Me too.
Yeah, you guys should check it out. Samurai Champloo. It's an old anime back, I think like 2010-ish. But the musical score is amazing. Nujabes, rest in peace. I mean, he had one of the just hip hop jazzy vibe to it. You know what I mean? So. If whoever else is listening to this, check it out.
Nice.
My Twitter and Instagram is at the goddamn Jefe. My ID page on Facebook is the goddamn Jefe.
Yep.
My Facebook ID page is also the goddamn Jefe. You can just look me up on Facebook, Cesar Lazcano.
Awesome. It's great to have you on. Also, I wanted to give a big shout out to James, Naval, and Mitch Bulls for letting us do my podcast here.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate y'all. Guys. And shout out to my guy Christian for helping me out at all times. Christian, you want to jump on real quick? Give your handle.
What up?
Look up what app.
We'll find it. Sound like a smooth jazz guy. Welcome to the Quiet Storm.
So tell me, where are you guys from? If you want to start first, Sean.
Right, yeah, sure. I don't mind. So I'm from Carson, California.
Let's go.
The MC known as Razkaz, I don't know if anyone knows who that is, but he's actually said it on one of his verses was Carson is the city in between Compton and Long Beach. So that's where you can find us, or where you can find where I'm from, and also my boy Monikkz.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I was born in Juarez, Mexico, but what's going on down there is not my fault, I promise. Not all of it. And like any true Mexican coming over the border, my rites of passage are clear, meaning I stayed at first in East LA, then went to Hollywood, North Hollywood. Oh, no. East LA, Santa Monica, Hollywood, North Hollywood. Then Amarillo, Texas, Silver Lake, Amarillo, Texas, Nevada, Chino Hills, and Nevada.
Damn, Chino Hills.
Chino Hills.
Every time I think of East LA, though, I always think about that one Cheech Marin. Born in East LA.
That was the shit. That was the shit. So again, we all met here at the gym. I wanted to, get your journey on how you started in martial arts, both of you. If you can share a little bit with that.
Yeah, I think for me, my journey in martial arts actually started off in boxing. In about, I would say 2004, 2005-ish. I started actually training in Carson. I was training in Fabella Chavez Boxing Gym in Scott Park.
Nice.
Right, I know. It's actually nice now. It's crazy.
Is, right?
It is beautiful. Yeah. I remember back then. I remember one time when me and my wife, when she was still my girl, I remember leaving her house one time at 3 a.m. and I remember some dudes tagging up the school. And I was like, "Are you kidding me at 3 a.m.?" But I was like, that's what it is.
Vic Park is nice too now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. But no, I was there for a little bit and I actually trained. After that, I was actually at the Rock. Where Ebenezer Church is at, right across from where used to be Super K. Now now it's Big K.
Yes.
Was there for a little bit too, and then actually found a home in Watts, California, off of Broadway and 108th Broadway Boxing Gym, if it's still there. But yeah, a lot of the great champs used to train over there. Ali, De La Hoya, Shane Mosley. They actually used to sleep over there. I actually used to hear stories about like Ali sleeping over there during his fight camps. But yeah, I was there for a little bit too, and then long story short, moved over here to Vegas. Was still training here for a little bit. Just training under Gil Martinez. We were Elite Boxing Gym, but they're now Mob Boxing, and he's a tremendous boxing coach. No nonsense, hard knocks guy. He helps out train a lot of the MMA fighters. He's actually Randy Couture's boxing coach.
Wow.
He did Gray Maynard, Tyson Griffin. I mean, I can name. I mean, heck, he's actually boxing coach for both Liam and Giovanna too.
Nice.
From those two kids from Cobrinias. But actually rewinding back to that, actually during or before boxing, I was a breakdancer, and I still am because the dance will always be with you for the rest of your life.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Thank you. But yeah, no, I did that.
Busting a move on the mat.
But no, I mean, it's not martial arts, but it's an art. And I just like in life, I was able to connect that art form along with my boxing. And then as I moved here and then started adopting jiu-jitsu, that's when things started rolling together,
Right.
Right. I mean, heck, if you think about all the B-boys who are great jiu-jitsu guys. I mean, you got Gio Martinez, you got Richie Martinez from Freak Show. I mean, heck, I don't know if I think I've already told you guys this, but back when I used to b-boy in my peak, like at 2003, 2004ish, I actually ended up battling. Our crew was battling Freak Show, and I was in the first round, and then Gio hit the second round. I was just like, holy shit! We actually we lost to them on the tiebreaker. So it was really cool, man. And but just to see those kids, not those kids, but see those guys now, see what they do back then, and the way that they kept it real. They kept the same who they are from the b-boy scene in early 2000s to now. It's still the same. It's tremendous, and to kind of see that same formula that they adopted as b-boys and actually do it as jiu-jitsu guys, it's remarkable. That's great. It's just an honor to be part of their journey, and as I'm they're part of mine.
Boogie is like one of the coolest dudes ever. By the way, I just wanted to share a quick story. I went to Disneyland, and he just won the combat jiu-jitsu championship.
Yeah.
Right? So he was a couple people ahead of me in line, and we were just waiting there, and I was telling all my family, dude, that guy right there is the shit. That's Boogeyman. He's the shit. And my brother-in-law, God bless his soul, but he says what he wants, like automatically. It comes right out. So I said, hey, that's the guy over there. That dude's legit. He looks over and says out loud, that guy doesn't look like he could do jujitsu. And then Boogie looked at us, and then I got introduced to him. I was like, sorry about that. But he was all cool about it, man. It was dope.
Yeah, no, that's what I love about Boogie, man. He's always, he's a heart of gold. I mean, same thing with Gio, But yeah, no, moved here about 2008. Did a little bit of boxing still, but I also my wife was pregnant with my eldest son during that time, so that's when things starting to slow down. So got more serious in life and stuff like that. But I never abandoned what the martial art of boxing and also dancing kind of like kept me always engaged. But time skipping from there, got into jiu-jitsu. Surprisingly, in about 2009, 2010, at a garage.
Nice.
As one of my old coworkers, Jordan, he introduced me to still a great friend of mine, Gerson Lopez. He's I think he's still a blue belt he was under Sergio Pena, and yeah, we were training at a garage, and I was just like that open-minded kid that just wanted to just just want to learn. And, kind of took that with me, through the years. And, I didn't train the way I wanted to train. I was just like, once a week. But I always just remembered. I was just hungry to learn more and all that. And, did that for a little bit and then kind of took a break. But then that's, when I kind of went into fitness and became a fitness instructor, taught Insanity and P90X for used to be Gold's Gym, but now it's EOS. That's where I met Professor James Naval. And he was still a brown belt, actually a new brown belt. That's the crazy part.
Brown belt.
Yeah, he was fresh brown belt. And I remember asking, hey, I work here. I just wanted to see if I can try a class. And he was like, asked me, do you have any background in jiu-jitsu? And I was like, well, I learned in the garage for a little bit. And he's like, well, let's see what you got. And one of the, I wouldn't say humbling moments, because I already knew that I was going to get my butt whooped, but it was about the information that I was about to get and receive from him. And I received, it was information overload every time. But I loved it, and I continued to just, hop on with him. I remember the first few months, it was just literally, I think once or twice a week, it was just him beating up on me for an hour and a half before me and him would go to the UFC gym and actually do a formal class. Then that's where I actually met Cesar too. Yeah. I remember he had that nice, majestic beard. And I remember one time, I remember calling him Leonidas.
Leonidas. Mr. Sparta.
But James was the one who actually gave me a more formal introduction to it, and that's where I was just like, you know what, I think it's time. I did it slowly, and maybe this formula may work for a lot of people who are still in that undecided stage of their life if they want to try it or not. But heck, if you can, maybe try it once every other week. I mean, my first few months of doing jiu-jitsu, formally, quote unquote, was I was doing it 3 times a month. Yeah, I remember at the UFC gym at a Blue Diamond, I had to work a deal out, and I remember paying $70 a month, and it was the guy was like, all right, you're only allowed to come here 3 times a month.
Wow.
And
for $70.
Yeah, I know. But times I just was not saying desperate, but I knew I wanted to get into this, and I had to accept that. And but the time eventually came. We eventually evolved and eventually moved out of that gym and for a little bit, and we were with Gracie Humaita for a little bit. And like I said, I stayed with James. I knew the time I met him, especially early on when you would get my butt whoopings at Gold's, it was I already knew that this is my mentor. Yeah. This is the guy that's gonna help, not just shape me in terms of jiu-jitsu, but in life. He's had that stoic thing about him, and I still say it. I still say this at times, what would James do?
100%.
Right?
Me too.
He's just 100%. That. Yeah, he just has that, that calmness about him, and then what makes me love him more is he's willing to actually let me know that, holy shit, I don't, he'll be at this unsure moment of his life, or I got to see the goods and the bads of what he went through. I got to see his journey, and I was able to kind of be there every step of the way as much as I could, and that just made me more motivated to be, help him grow, in his journey as much as him helping me grow in mine. But yeah, no, I mean, fast forward to when we're doing a little bit of time at Gracie Humaita, and now James, James did a great job in what we did, transitioning from Gracie Humaita to where we're at now at Atos Jiu-Jitsu. Professor Gavon, thank you so much for taking us in. I mean, this is one of the dreams that James had, to be part of this amazing school, and just to be part of that is just, to me, I'm still at shock at times.
Me too.
Me cool. Too. Am I the only one?
You go on Flow Grappling, see all these names, wait, we're on the same squad.
Yeah, it is. Crazy. And it's not the fact that it's not that cool clique mentality where it's like, oh, well, that's my boy, so I think that's me too. But it's like, no, it's motivating for me.
Yeah.
It's knowing the fact that I'm able to kind of learn and adopt the things I want to do through, through Andy Murasaki, through Jontas Gracie, to Dominique Bell, and, so on and so forth, is an honor,
The knowledge.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But, yeah, I mean.
Real quick, before you guys moved to the UFC gym, when you met James doing the jiu-jitsu, were you guys like wearing gis or was it no gi? Like how
at first we were doing no gi. I remember my dumbass actually wore I remember wearing a tank top and that shit got ripped the first minute of class. But that's where I was like, okay, I gotta start getting, more into this and actually start wearing the proper type of gear. Mm-hmm. And I remember, my first gear that I bought was on Amazon. I remember dyeing it gray because I wanted it to be different and cool. And gosh, I was such a goober. Looking at the pictures, actually, I have some pictures of me and him when we were younger, going,
you
holy.
Share that.
Yeah, actually, I don't mind. I actually do have a throwback of me and James at the UFC gym, and it's crazy. Or not UFC gym, but at Gold's. Wearing our gis, and I remember all right, actually now I have to actually wear a legit colored gi, and it took a while, but I said, it took steps. Like I said, hopefully this helps other people who are unsure or people who are still in early stages of the jiu-jitsu journey. Is it's one step at a time.
Don't give up.
Yeah, really, I really do think that. So,
100%. And how about you, Hefe? How did we get involved in martial arts?
I was 9 years old. I was in LA. I grew up in LA, and I was driving. My stepdad passes this place that I thought was maybe a martial arts place. I love Bruce Lee. I loved the Ninja Turtles when I was a kid. So I'm like, I want to go there. I want to go there. And I remember vividly pointing at this at the window towards that place. And my stepdad glances and looks back at me. He's like, what, you want to go to a Chinese restaurant? I'm like, oh, no, I want to go to a dojo. It's like, oh, okay. So he put me in Taekwondo, and then later on I did Taijutsu, which is a form of ninja, and then karate. And then I got to college, and strangely enough, I got a degree in psychology. To earn it, one of the things I had to do in my last year there is get a credit in PE. And I'm like, okay, what are my options? It's advanced PE2, something like that. I think maybe Aikido or something like that, or Judo. I'm like, Judo, that sounds like Jiu-Jitsu. Holy crazy. Me and my stepdad used to watch the UFC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, so yeah, I'll try that. And then Judo, of course, is really Jiu-Jitsu and vice versa. And the class was more MMA based. In fact, this is funny. In order for me to graduate from that class, I had to. This was a very lame smoker MMA bout, basically. So basically, for our final quote unquote, Jose Caricate, he's my judo coach. That is his last name, by the way. He's like, okay, you guys are gonna because he didn't just teach us judo. He also showed us of course submissions and such, just like anything else in judo, and strikes. Self-defense stuff. It's supposed to be judo mixed in with self-defense for some reason. And then it's okay, here, you're going to put on headgear, you're going to put on gloves, and you're going to just beat the shit out of yourself. I beat the shit out of my friend Patrick. Because he's he's very sweet and mellow, and he just took it because I was taking it, and me, I'm the guy who's yeah, UFC, So I beat the shit out of Patrick, and he's oh, it's a draw. I'm fuck no, it's not. Sorry, Patrick. Anyway, sorry, Patrick, I love you. But it was a draw, sure. And I want that overturned. No, So I can technically say I had a smoker spout in order to get my degree in psychology. It's insane.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I wonder if you could do that these days. I don't know. Anyway, and then a few years later, I actually went to an MMA gym to train called Combining Martial Science when I moved back to LA, in Chino Hills actually. And then I came back over here, did judo in the same place where James and Mitch were doing jiu-jitsu, and then I started learning jiu-jitsu. I got my black belt both in judo and jiu-jitsu eventually, and here I am now.
Congrats, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. That's cool. Yeah.
I
still haven't gotten the Taekwondo black belt. Crossing fingers.
Let's go. Kamsamida. But dude, no, it's amazing to see where your journey was. I mean, I remember when I first met you, you were a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and
right.
I still remember watching you at the Jiu-Jitsu World League that we had at the Cox Pavilion.
Oh God!
Right?
I just bumped into a picture of one of those back then. I was thinking, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing back then.
I know. Oh my God! I remember having like this really goofy man bun too, like where it's like like I had like my sides cut. No, it was
I remember that.
It was all poofy in the side. While also have like my I had to tie on my back.
I remember that now. Yeah,
it was horrible. It was horrible. I actually had a throwback picture on one of my Instagrams, and I was like, "Holy crap!" I look at it and it's funny, and it's great to see that.
I think every guy goes through some kind of facial or hair thing. I used to have like really, really long hair down to my shoulders. This is before I met either of you guys, I believe. And I used to have a goatee and my sideburns down here, like the Rock used to back in the day.
Oh,
so long hair, sideburns, and a goatee, and no mustache or nothing like that. And I rocked that look probably for like at least 2 years, maybe more. So I think we all have that era where like we just had like crazy facial hair,
and that's when the Jefe was born.
That's yeah. Cause if you didn't know, I was a professional wrestler for about 5 or 6 years. I can't remember, and I was the Jefe, and that was the prime Jefe look.
Nice.
That was an amazing look. I also formerly one of the Rosebuds, right? For
Adam Rose back in WWE. I spent like about a year and a half being a gun for hire, shall I say. So that from time to time they would bring me to the shows and I would have to wrestle or do something, usually in a dark match. And they put me on TV one time, Total Divas. I was in Total Divas, the Las Vegas episode with...
I remember watching it. Yeah,
I remember watching
I was
it.
like, oh my God!
I feel really bad about it too, because I had to play a guy... Rusev is this wrestler who used to be with the WWE back in the day. And the whole shtick was that I am playing a prank on him during his engagement in Las Vegas, because we're about to get married. And the whole prank was me pretending to be in a wheelchair because I hurt myself in the ring or something like that. I'm like, oh, Rusev, I'm so happy how far you've gone and everything like that. And Rusev's like, oh, okay, bro, yeah. And then later on, long story short, my supposed fiancé has a big fight with Rusev's fiancé, I believe, in a club, and they get kicked out. And they have this whole pre-marriage ceremony dinner. And then two masked people, me being one of them and my fiancé being the other one, we fake wrestle in front of them, and then we reveal ourselves. And I reveal myself, and then Rusev looks at me, he's like, hey, you're the guy from the wheelchair. You're not supposed to be doing all this jumping around. And it was really silly and weird, but that's the one time I was in WWE television for anything.
Nice. That's awesome. I mean, heck, Rusev is doing amazing too as Miro at AEW.
Miro's his name now?
Yeah, Miro. He's
Miro.
He was formerly the TNT television champion.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
So I mean, I think he's doing great. I mean, post WWE.
Good.
I know. Awesome. I'm still a nerd and still watching.
No. I think AEW is a better place to work than WWE. WWE is too political, and you have to walk in eggshells, and they don't tell you shit.
It's crazy to with the generation of the internet and like you can't hide these things anymore, and it's crazy to see that the culture at WWE
it's pretty toxic.
I mean, it is. I mean, again, I quote me if I'm wrong, or whoever hears this, but I mean, like, all the wrestlers like Bret Hart and Chris Jericho.
Oh yeah,
like the way they talked about in their podcast is like about how WWE is the big, it still is. I think you can't take that away from WWE. It's like they are still the biggest wrestling promotion. Yeah, I mean AEW is like still second, but I mean, but to kind of see a lot of these wrestlers, I mean, again, like the business is just it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I've never been part of the business, but watching it from an outside perspective and kind of seeing what these are human beings who are actually trying to make their dream come true. And I think during that journey of them trying to make it come true, like things change and unfortunately I feel like that sometimes something as big as WWE kind of like halts their momentum into thinking, okay, well, I can't be this big name or I can't be the man or the woman.
Right, even if the fans want it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with pro wrestling. The problem with pro wrestling is that I do consider it a real sport. This is why. Figure skating, is that what it's called? Figure skating, it's pre-planned, and yet it's a sport. Same thing with synchronized swimming. So you're telling me a bunch of guys and women throwing each other physically in a predetermined way, you're telling me that is less athletic than figure skating and synchronized swimming? Of course not. So it is a sport. It's not a competitive sport in the sense of we're actually fighting for its title. No, wins and losses in my head don't mean anything in that quote-unquote sport. But it is like, but you can tell, oh, that was a good match. These two partners put on a good match. Oh, the last match was terrible. So it's competitive in that way.
It is. It's amazing to see the athleticism a lot of these people go through. I mean, they're going through bumps 24/7. I mean, seeing what the sports entertainment or pro wrestling has evolved into how it was back then. Like seeing all these shows like Dark Side of the Ring, and it's so like in a sense like eye opening and depressing, and kind of seeing where it's at right now. They're trying to evolve it,
and I think that the reason why a lot of people are very political behind the scenes. This might seem like a stretch, but I think it's because it's going through an identity crisis. But because pre-1980s, it was like, okay, I know it's fixed, but the fans don't know it's fixed, so we got to keep it kayfabe. We got to keep it on the low. And then once things got exposed by the 80s, definitely by the late 90s, now WWE is like, oh, this is not pro wrestling, this is sports entertainment. Meanwhile, everybody else is like, no, this is still real to me, damn it. So right now it's kind of like in a identity crisis. It's like, this is a real sport because of such and such, or is it just entertainment because of such and such? And then what that causes backstage is like, okay, so it's this pro wrestler. If I'm running the show, if I'm the booker, in my perspective, this person who's being loud that he's not being treated fairly is only popular because I made him popular. And then, because it's not real, I'm booking it, And then this athlete who's actually physically doing the work, it's like, man, those bumps hurt. Man, I'm giving it all I got, and I still have to job to this guy and that guy. When am I going to get a shot at the title? Oh, when's my character going to shine in this story? And I think that's where the conflict is. So the booker's like, I made you. Job to this guy because I tell you to, because I can make you or break you. And then the actual wrestler, the guy out there is like, oh, I'm the one sweating and I'm the one bleeding and this hurts and I don't want to just keep jobbing. I want you give me something, blah, blah, blah. And it goes back and forth, And then when someone sees someone like Cena, like Super Cena, it's like, oh, come on. Share the pie, Share the pie. Don't take it all for yourself.
Hey, man, we have the tribal chief now.
Exactly.
Right? Acknowledge him.
So that I think because it's going through an identity crisis, like, is this sports entertainment or is this wrestling?
Yeah.
To bookers, it might be sports entertainment. I might be wrong. Maybe if you make a survey for every booker out there, they'll disagree with me. I don't know. But I think booker-wise, like, sports entertainment, I make the action happen. And then the wrestler's like, this is pro wrestling. I'm wrestling out there. Yeah. It might be predetermined, but I'm doing the work.
Right.
That's true.
So I think that's why a lot of people walk in the eggshells in WWE, because it's full of people who are like, sports entertainment, I'm the booker. You're only someone because we make you someone. And
isn't like certain things they can't say, certain moves they can't do. I mean,
from what I understand, I never got to know anyone too well in WWE. I can give you just a handful of dates I actually work with them in that span of a year and a half. Not a lot, But from what I understand, yes, they have regulations.
Wow. Yeah, hopefully they give push. I mean, he's been there for a long time. I mean, between Dolph Ziggler or Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, hopefully. Here's the thing: the reason why, like if you look back in the 80s, that's the prime time, I think. And everyone, yes, I know Hulk Hogan was on top. He was like the guy who had the biggest share of pie. But honestly, if it was just Hulk Hogan, he wouldn't be successful. You had the $1 Million Man, Jake the Snake, all these different people. You had a plethora of characters to choose from and to be invested in. Nowadays, now that John Cena's leaving, I guess it's Roman Reigns, right?
The tribal chief.
The tribal chief. Or Peacemaker.
Yeah, the Peacemaker.
See, I don't even. Is that his nickname?
No, that's the new DC show he does on.
Oh, that's right.
HBO Max.
Yep. Anyway, Peacemaker. Yep.
That's what I think.
So, real quick, I said this is the best time to do this since we're all deep in the nerds.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a full spoiler review of Spider-Man.
Let's do
I wanted to do a full
No,
Spider-Man
I'm just
spoiler
kidding. I watched it, but
it. It sucks. Marvel sucks. DC all the way. I'm kidding. No.
hey man, Young Justice. Okay, Young Justice. I'm just saying, man. I'm in the middle of
Young Justice is a shit.
Dude, I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm in the middle of it.
I love
I'm
the
like,
show. I haven't seen it, but I love it because fuck Marvel. I'm kidding.
No, DC animated has
it does.
top Marvel.
Yeah,
like,
Warner Brothers knows
ultimate.
what they're doing in terms of the of the animation. I mean, for years. I mean, you're coming from Doom. You're coming from
Doom.
Infinite Crisis. You're coming from I mean, heck, like the remakes of all the Batmans.
Right.
I mean, I'm personally my favorite superhero of all time is Nightwing.
I love Nightwing.
Yeah,
I mean,
nice.
heck, my youngest son is his middle name is Grayson.
No way.
Oh, really?
So,
Because of that. Wow,
yeah, because of that.
is
Yeah,
dope,
and
bro.
so Grayson. So I sometimes I call him the Flying Grayson.
Oh,
sometimes.
man.
You know what's
love
weird
you.
about that is that I admit he's not necessarily my favorite superhero, but I think he's the one I relate with the most because my favorite two superheroes is Spider-Man and Batman. Batman being number one.
Yeah,
but I'm not as stark and as serious as Batman. I can come off very stoic and very mean, but I'm a goofball too, like Spider-Man, if you will. I have characters of both. I'm thinking, man, I can't really relate with either because they're both extreme sides of me. I'm not as funny as Spider-Man and happy-go-lucky. Not that he's always happy-go-lucky. He goes through shit, but I don't keep that brightness of him. And Batman, I'm not that depressed and that dark all the time. So I'm like, Nightwing's like, if I was a superhero, I think Nightwing would be me. I think I'd be Nightwing because I relate with him the most. Because I'm like, he's a little bit more light than Batman, but he's not as goofy as Spider-Man either. He's like right in the middle.
He's in the middle. I mean, he said it himself. He does not want to be Batman. He refuses to wear the cowl to lead the way of the cowl. Like he wants to create his own journey as a crime fighter, and it shows. I mean, obviously since the 80s and 70s or 80s, but like just seeing Nightwing or Dick Grayson come from that to Agent I forgot the number, but Agent something where he died.
He dies.
You know what I mean? Like it's I like his character, and I hope that they do something with him. You know, on the side, come on, Warner Bros. Give him like a solo movie.
Yeah, man.
I mean, if not, it's all good, but at least put him in.
Please.
In case there's no nerds listening to this, Nightwing is the original Robin from the 1950s. I think he got a few years after Batman,
60s,
right?
60s, yeah. 60s,
I know.
yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure he was around in
yeah, right.
1950, 51, something like that. He made his debut. Anyway, long story short, he's been around since almost the beginning, and he's the only superhero I can think of to start off as a sidekick, and he actually grew up, went to college, and now he's his own man, his own superhero. I might be wrong, but he's definitely the most famous one to actually have a journey like that from childhood to adulthood, and I don't know if he ever hit middle age or not, but I think he went up to his 30s at least. Comic book.
He's still 30s or late 20s, but man, holy wet t-shirt contest, Batman.
So before we move on to Spider-Man, and you guys both love Nightwing, have you seen the Titan show?
Wait, that's the one where you have the live action
Titans,
Dick Grayson, right?
Yes.
I've seen the first few episodes of the first season, but not the whole thing. Did you see the whole thing?
Oh yeah, I don't want to spoil it.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll definitely.
Or do you mind?
I don't mind. But like for me, I definitely want to check it out. It's just I'm also my nerdiness does branch off in other genres. I do love anime. So I'm always on my anime trip no matter what. I mean, I have how many Naruto tattoos, but I'm definitely in between both worlds. It's just, you know, my daughter and my wife love anime. I mean, heck, like I think my wife got me more into anime than I was back then, where I was a little more limited with just Dragon Ball Z and Ronin Warriors. She's actually the one that introduced me to Naruto in 2003, and I remember just like her telling me like, oh no, I created a monster. all I watch, all I talk about. I mean, heck, all of my high school friends used to make fun of me, but like, hey, listen, I'm a grown adult with all the Naruto tattoos, so suck it.
You can spoil it for me. I used to read books. I still read books, but I used to read them in a way that I used to read the last page first. and see how the story ends up to the very end. And I always found that very interesting. So you could spoil the whole thing. I still want to know how it leads to that.
Well, just letting you know, don't watch it around your kids. It's a dark DC show. Yeah. But I'll just say right now, he's fine. This season, he's finally Nightwing.
Nice. Yeah, I kind of figured. I think I saw like some clips of that or something.
I still remember him going through his. So he was the one that was beefing with Deathstroke, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it's not Jason Todd, nor was it Tim Drake.
Jason Todd's there too. So
I
both
love Jason
Robins
Todd. Oh, that's right. I saw Jason Todd.
So Jason Todd's there. Do you think they're gonna?
They did Red Hood this year.
Oh, they're gonna. So they did intertwine Death of the Family.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. So again, if there's no nerds here, Jason Todd is the second Robin ever, and Tim Drake's the third. Do we say Tim Drake?
Yeah, Tim Drake.
Yeah,
Tim Drake is the third too, actually.
That's
Robin
dope.
ever. Yeah, and Jason Todd is my favorite Robin, by the way, because as much as I love Dick Grayson, I love him, and Tim Drake, I appreciate, but Jason Todd. Dead in the Family is basically when DC decided to kill off the second Robin. They held a contest and he wasn't popular enough to make it, so people phone called in to request that they kill him off.
I know, isn't it crazy?
I know, but years later, like 15, maybe 20 years later, they revisited Jason Todd by bringing him back from the dead. Like, he did survive the dead in the hands of Joker, and he became the Red Hood, a killing machine. And I think now in the comic books, he has proven himself to be a better man. And
with the
now he's a good guy now.
Yeah, with the Outsiders. Yeah. I mean, Batman said it himself. Like, he goes, Dick is the most talented one. Jason had the most passion. He had the anger and passion. Why he chose him? Because I feel like he kind of regretted choosing him first, because I think he was FOMOing, like, oh man, I don't have a sidekick anymore.
Right, he wasn't always shown very competent.
Yeah,
so he was more competent as Red Hood than as Robin.
Yeah. I mean, heck, maybe a death is the reason why he grew.
I love this so much.
Once he turned to the dark side, he's like, I am an all-powerful Jedi now, or Sith.
But no, I mean, like he said, Jason had that, and then Tim was. He's just the smartest detective. I mean, out of all the
he's
Robin,
the most intelligent one.
He's the most, he really is. So actually,
that's a high idea, guys.
And then Damien too. Damien gets love too.
I forgot about Damien. I don't like Damien. Damien.
But that's what's great about Damien, though. Like he's this cocky little kid who was born and raised through the League of Assassins with Ra's al Ghul and Talia al Ghul. Talia. Anyways, but like that's why he has that regal-ish, like, I'm above you, because he was raised by assassins. He was raised by the greatest
I guess that's why I don't like him so much, because he seems like Jason Todd 2.0, only added with a, I don't know, like with his nose up in the air, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, he's the reason why Tim Drake left. He didn't want to be. He became the Red Robin. I don't know if you know
I'd be out too. I'd be like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, so he became the Red Robin because Damien was always trying to push him away. Like he was jealous. Like he's like, I'm Robin now. He wanted that, and that's what makes me also like sympathize and kind of like Tim Drake more, because instead of fighting with Damien or trying to like fight for the title of Robin, he was like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna make my own and actually do better with it.
Yeah. It's funny that we're talking about the Robins, because I just finished Arkham Knight, and Jason Todd is revealed to be Arkham Knight. This game's been out since 2015.
Yeah,
this is
like, don't spoil it for me. Come on.
Yeah, you can already tell. Actually, I have the Funko Pops of that. I have the really? I bought my wife the Arkham Knight series of of Funko Pops. So she has Harley Quinn, Joker, Arkham Knight, and Batman.
Nice.
And she has that all on her at her desk.
Yeah, and you're right. It's not really much of a spoiler, because from the very beginning, you can tell. It's going to be Jason.
But I do love his armor. I love the way that they designed his armor and
like a Batcat.
Yeah, like a bad cat, right?
Yeah, they just made him into the Arkham Knight in the beginning, just so they could call it Arkham Knight, just to keep on with the Arkham bullshit,
So, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
No, you're good. I love it. I never have comic people on, so this is awesome. So, how did you feel going into it? Because we all heard rumors that the other two were returning. How did you feel going into it? Were you expecting anything like that?
For me personally, I mean, I was already expecting it, but I'm that type of fan who doesn't like, I guess like a lot of fans, they complain about everything. There's always something they complain about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to enjoy it as a fan, just as a fan. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to enjoy it, just appreciate what the type of work Holland and Garfield, who's actually, it's funny, my wife always makes fun of me. She actually says I'm Andrew Garfield of the Spider-Mans because I'm so like, I love you guys. And then Tobey Maguire, like it was kind of emotional because I got to see, you know, as a young teenager, Tobey Maguire's version, and kind of saw Andrew Garfield's version, you know, as I got older, and then now where I'm at now in my life, Tom Holland, and like kind of seeing my past meet
the present.
my present, you know. And I want to say past, present, future. If you can see, I guess you can kind of say that. But they exceeded my expectations, in my opinion, because of just who Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Holland's character, if you like, that's my wife's favorite because she always talks about how he's the most childish one out of the three.
And that's what Spider-Man is, right?
Yeah,
that's
he is. He's a child.
Into,
yeah, he's a child, and that's what makes me appreciate Tom Holland's character as Spider-Man was he had this. Well, every time he was at a panic, he would panic. Like if you saw
like a child would.
Yeah, if you saw Homecoming when he got stuck under after the fight with Vulture, he was like panicking. And same thing at Endgame when he had the Infinity Gauntlet, and he was like freaking out before he saw Ms. Marvel.
Right.
And then same case for, you know, No Way Home, where you know, certain scenes where you just see him like you see him as a child when the whole situation with May, and I was just like, my gosh, like it was just tremendous acting, and like I said, all three just brought their A game.
Yes, they did, and all three make you feel.
Yeah.
You feel it for sure.
Yeah, and my impression of Tom Holland Spider-Man is no.
Yeah, right. That's what I love about him. It's like he's a child, and but like again, like Tobey Maguire, like or like we had a good analogy, like both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Mans were able to finish high school and go into college, mid-college.
Right away.
Right.
Yeah. where you know, obviously now in today's movie industry, we actually play people in their right age.
Yes.
You know, it ain't no Saved by the Bell where it's like Zach Morris is like, hey preppy, and he's like 25, you know what I mean?
Wait, Tobey Maguire, you mean the cool youth pastor?
Yeah. I know, he did look like it. Oh my gosh.
You know, and it's funny that you're saying that because well, first of all, I do have my criticisms towards just about everything. I'm a miserable son of a bitch, but I do respect. I don't invalidate any opinion because I grew up in theater as much as martial arts. A few years after I started martial arts, I started training as an actor, and I've seen different versions of Hamlet, different versions of Romeo and Juliet, played by different actors of different races, different props, no props, different costumes and such. So I've been trained since I was a little boy that you could have one actor play the same part many different ways. And for all these people who are like, oh my God, Robert Downey Jr. is irreplaceable, Hugh Jackman's irreplaceable as Wolverine. I'm like, bullshit, man. Just give it time.
Yeah.
You know,
right,
and
right.
So any version of Spider-Man is valid.
Wolverine was 5'3"
and such.
Now, I know.
Now,
Yeah, deep voice.
that doesn't mean I like every superhero movie. Some suck. Like Batman and Robin. Batman, my number one superhero of all time, of course. But Batman and Robin,
with the bat nipples?
shitty-ass
With the
movie.
bat nipples?
Shitty-ass movie.
Oh, any of the bat credit card?
I wouldn't say Batman Forever is watchable and decent enough. But Batman and Robin, I regret every time I see that. And I'm like punishing myself when I see them. Maybe I'll find some merit this time. Nope. And I will say this. Yes, I do like elements of the other two Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland, but and this one thing I realized, we all like different versions of Batman. Like if you talk to someone who grew up in the 60s, you know, a boomer that grew up in the 60s, like, so what do you think about Adam West? Oh, that guy was so right. I love him. He's funny. Oh, what about the Michael Keaton one? Oh, things got serious. I'm like, no, it got dark. Blah, blah. And that's fine. And I appreciate the Adam West version of Batman. It's not my Batman, but it's definitely, you know.
He had very impeccable English.
Very impeccable pronunciation.
He actually talks about how like
seatbelt safety.
Yeah, seatbelt safety, or talk about how like with villainy,
Yes.
villainy is like the way that villains talk, or as a superhero you need to talk with good proper English.
Exactly. You know, so I'd be a villain in that movie, in that universe. But so yeah, but I do appreciate those movies overall. Just some criticisms I have is that because again, we grew up in watching Spider-Man in a different aspect. I grew up with a college professor. Spider-Man, married with Mary Jane, going to marital problems and such, you know, and so I think I started being conscious about Spider-Man when he was starting college until he started having marital problems in the early 2000s with Mary Jane. Yeah. So that was my Spider-Man. So when I saw Into the Spider-Verse and I saw that Spider-Man who's like kind of like
Peter B. Parker,
yeah, that was my Spider-Man. Like, yes, I fucking love this guy. So Tom Holland's kind of like the other, he's like the beginning, which is totally cool. And I know people appreciate it, but I don't like the fact they didn't have Uncle Ben. But this movie fixed a lot of things, because by the end of it, he's his own Spider-Man. Yeah. He's not attached to the Avengers anymore. He's not what people say, Iron Boy Jr. or anything like that. All that stuff is just left in the past. And he started fresh with a new costume that looks better than any other costume, in my opinion.
Yes.
And then, And yeah, so I'm very appreciative of that, and the fact that Andrew Garfield is now. He was always my favorite Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, I agree.
And I love Amazing Spider-Man 1. I think it's very underrated. I love it, and Amazing Spider-Man 2 I like a lot. I have a blast. It's not a boring movie. There's Batman and Robin, which is dull. Lots going on, too many villains, and stupid and ugly. And then there's Amazing Spider-Man 2, where you can eat popcorn watching that movie. You know?
I mean, heck, like I think the cliffhanger in terms of like storyline was the way that it introduced the Sinister Six. Yeah. And, you know, that was one of the things I was like hoping that they do. Right. But I think with all the changes that's been happening, with obviously now that No Way Home is done, to see the way it ended, and I honestly think that Tom Hardy's Venom is going to be at that one.
That would be so great. Andrew Garfield versus Tom Hardy.
Because I mean, he says it in near the end of the thing. It was like when Tom Holland was like, "Oh, I fought an alien life force," and then Tobey Maguire's like, "I fought an alien thing, but here on Earth." And Andrew Garfield was like, "Oh, what about me?" Right. He's gonna get his time, and I think that now hopefully Sony and Disney is like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, I hope so.
Like, hopefully the egos finally step aside and like, all right, let's actually do this. Let's do this the right way, and you know, hope for the best. I mean, that's all I can say as a fan, is like, just hope for the best. I mean, heck, I know we keep shitting on Batman and Robin, and I hate it too, but it has one of the best one-liners from Arnold. Oh yeah, first Gotham City, and then the world. Chill out.
There's only one absolute. Everything freezes. I'm not sure that's an absolute, but okay. And by the way, I'm not saying the Amazing Spider-Man movies are perfect. They have flaws. I know everything has flaws. Spider-Man 1 has flaws. You know, they focus on his parents too much. Like the whole drama with the parents. I'm like, not really necessary. Mm-hmm. You know, just have him die in a car crash or something like that. I don't like that the fact that the dad made a Spider-Man with Peter's DNA. Didn't like that.
Was weird.
Yeah. And I hated the villains. I didn't hate the villains. I hated the portrayal of the villains in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Mm-hmm. Okay, if they would have taken the material more seriously, like the guy who played the Lizard in the first one did, it would fit the universe a little bit more. You know, you have Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
I think that's his last name. You know, I am the Rhino.
Yeah.
Come the fuck on. He's a great actor.
I know the suit.
And Jamie Foxx, see how well he did as Electro in this new movie? If you take that Electro and plug him in Amazing Spider-Man 2, I tell you.
Yes. So, I actually went on YouTube and saw that part where Doctor Strange is like, where the multiverse is like breaking down at the end. So I went on YouTube and saw somebody record it, and I slowed it down. Man, they have like almost all the Sinister Six.
They have the OG Rhino on it
the
too.
OG Rhino,
that was really cool about
Scorpion.
it. Yeah, Scorpion.
Bro.
I also what I loved about the this Spider-Man 2 because of like it really dove into the multiverse and it really embraced it.
Yeah.
And to know the fact that rewinding back to Homecoming and people saying, "Oh no, we're gonna see another Uncle Ben die again," like they had memes like Uncle Ben saying, "Don't kill me again, please." I love that in this universe that there was no Uncle Ben. It just gives you a different perspective because I know people are always like, "Oh, well, there has to be an Uncle Ben." I think what comics gives us is just different views and it's different tastes, like different flavors.
And again, they fixed the Uncle Ben problem by having Aunt May be the Uncle Ben. Perfect. Boom. That's
the
good.
catalyst.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, the catalyst that what made kind of like same thing with Miles Morales when he lost his uncle at Under the Spider-Verse. Like that specific scene that made him Spider-Man.
Right.
That was his, and
you need that catalyst.
And it makes me it just breaks my heart though. It's like maybe as a parent, maybe I'm speaking this as a parent, but like seeing what Peter goes through after, and like the whole Infinity Wars, it's all gone. It's not even the fact that it's been forgotten. It's gone. It is in no one's. You know what I mean? Like there's that meme where Spider-Man enters the Avengers or Shield or not Shield but the Avengers center, and like you see Nick Fury or old school Samuel Jackson saying, "Who the fuck is this?"
Well, I think the spell only works for Peter Parker, not Spider-Man. They remember Spider-Man, right? But they don't remember Peter Parker.
Yeah,
I think that's how it works.
It's funny because I saw a meme after the movie that said, "It's crazy, 9 Spider-Man movies and we still don't know who Spider-Man is."
He's a new John Cena.
You can't see me. But that does bring up. Here's the thing, though. I'm okay with quote unquote plot holes if they are in fact number one plot holes. Like it totally ruins the narrative. Like this cannot make any sense because of this or that. Blah, blah, blah. I do hate that, but I wouldn't consider this a plot hole. The fact that now that everyone has been brainwashed by the spell to forget Spider-Man, all this other recording of Peter Parker being exposed and all this stuff, are people going to like forget and watch the recording and get like, "Oh, Peter Parker's Spider-Man," and you know what I mean?
Does it snap back?
Or does it snap away those videos? Does it? I don't know how it works, but I'm okay with it because it doesn't mess with the narrative.
It doesn't, yeah.
Because the whole idea is still makes sense. That's not without the specifics. Yeah. Because look, if we're gonna fix every single mini plot hole in every movie, then every movie's gonna be like 4 hours long at least.
Yeah, you're gonna get
at one point
double VHS.
Let's go with it.
Especially things that touch on the multiverse, like there's gonna be plot holes anywhere. Somewhere. I'm
sure they didn't think, if we make the Amazing Spider-Man 3, how's that gonna work out once Andrew Garfield goes back? Well, all this is for all. And you might think, they should have thought of that before they make. No. Make a movie. Make a movie. Focus on the movie. Make it the best you can, and then make the next movie. Don't think about, we gotta change this, because that's when movies become shit. When you're already planning for the sequel and you're already putting elements that don't belong in that movie itself for the next movie.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Are you a Childish Gambino, Donald Glover fan?
Oh.
I know you are.
Yeah.
I always hear you playing it.
Well, I do love him in Community.
Community is so cool.
As Troy.
Do you think he's going to come back in the future as the Prowler?
Ooh, I would love him to. I think he's an amazing actor, and I actually, it was funny, like, I do listen to some of his songs, but actually my favorite song from him is actually not even one of his. It's actually when he redid Tamiya's I'm So Into You.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Amazing.
Yeah, I put that on repeat.
Amazing.
I
cannot, live.
Yeah. Oh. I can't sing for shit, but you catch me washing dishes, I am singing to myself, I'm so into you. I really like.
Childish Gambino's fantastic.
He's the best. But I guess after the first Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, at the end he's on the phone saying basically, "Miles, I'm not gonna make it."
Right.
So it's like, is he gonna come back as? But I can't see him as the Prowler. Like after watching Into the Spider-Verse, seeing that version, I can't see Donald Glover playing.
When it happens, you'll be able to see it.
Or I mean, if you also think about Andrew Garfield's world.
Yeah.
Remember Jamie Foxx said himself, like, I thought Spider-Man was black. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, like, all right.
Yeah.
Another little, like, nudge in that direction. Because, again, I think that they were doing that with Andrew Garfield's.
What I hear is that a lot of fans were like, oh, remember when they mentioned this a few movies back and finally pays off? I think they consciously bring, they throw away lines on purpose that may or may not be interesting to the public, and they see if it goes anywhere, if there's a want for it, and then they follow through down the line, whether it's the next movie or 2 movies down or whatnot. So I would argue that because people do speculate that Donald Glover is going to be the Prowler, that there's a possibility. It's not for sure, but it's a possibility that he might show up in Miles Sequel too.
It's such a, like, you can print money.
Yeah.
You do Miles Morales, you can just print money.
Yeah.
Come on.
I really hope that they open up that can of worms, because I think Miles Morales is, as much as we love Peter, and we will always love Peter, but I think this is Miles' time, man.
I love 2099 too.
Yeah.
Yeah. My boy, half Mexican, half Irish.
But yeah, no, I really think that they need to give Miles a shine. I think he did an amazing job as, in Enter the Spider-Verse, which is crazy though, because actually the voice actor for Enter the Spider-Verse is actually one of my favorite, like, actors. I forgot his name, but he's actually from a show in Netflix that only lasted 2 seasons. It makes me really sad. Called The Get Down.
The Get Down.
Yeah, The Get Down.
He's on.
His name was Shaolin Fantastic.
Yeah, Shaolin Fantastic. And he's on. Dang, what's that one movie where he's in middle school and he's selling drugs? Oh God, I forgot. It was a great movie.
Yeah,
but yeah, I like him a lot too. Who would you choose for Miles Morales live action?
Oh gosh. That's a good question.
To me, I feel like they got to go unknown.
I hope.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that, if we don't want to follow the formula of back in the days. Like, okay, maybe this is just too much, or maybe over the top. But back in the 90s, we loved Van Damme.
Yeah.
And for him to play Guile, we're like, oh my gosh, we were so excited as a child. And as an adult, I was like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Accent.
Yep, my name is Colonel Guile. I'm from the U.S. Army or U.S. Air Force. I'm going to kick Bison's ass so hard that the wannabe Bison after that will feel it.
Like, best line from that movie though, when the video was self-destructing, he said, "Quick, change the channel."
That's right. That's the funniest one.
Yo,
hey, that dude's from Carson.
Is he really?
Yeah, big one. Yeah.
Wait, E Honda?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, Big Zangief.
Yeah.
Zangief or
no, Big Samoan dude.
E Honda.
I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. Okay.
That's what I'm tripping about. I was like, it was funny. We're thinking about that. I was like, I was thinking about, like, yo, E Honda is Samoan.
Yeah.
Which actually works now if you think about it.
Yeah.
But back then, you're like, what the fuck were we thinking? Was it,
Same thing with Yokozuna. They did the same exact thing. Samoan guy playing Japanese.
And he's also from Carson.
Yeah.
God rest in peace, Yokozuna.
Yeah.
You think about it too, like, Rikishi also lives here, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He has his own wrestling, school here. I actually remember, I actually got shy, but I took my son to the park. It was like off of Silverado and Las Vegas Boulevard. But when I took my son there, I actually saw Rikishi, and I was like, that has to be Rikishi. And I remember seeing the bleached hair, and I was like, I want to say hi so bad, but I didn't do it. So that's one of the things I kind of regret. So, Rikishi, if you're hearing this, you're gonna hear this.
Bring that ass over here.
Yo.
I was wrestling a match once, and I don't know. I think my character got knocked down or knocked out or something, and they bring me backstage because my character's out, and they put me down right in front of Rikishi for a reason, and I just laid there. On purpose, and Rikishi looks at me and is like, "Okay, man, you don't have to sell it anymore. It's good, man. You look good." I'm like, bye.
See, he would have been a good E Honda too.
Oh yeah, he would have been
an amazing E Honda.
So before we close out the Spider-Man review, last question. How did you feel when you saw those portals open and the 2 came? Like, what did you feel? I know the crowd was crazy, but how did you feel?
I spoiled the shit out of it to myself, so I already knew it was coming.
Oh,
yeah,
you looked it up?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, look, I don't give a shit about spoilers. I still want to watch the movie. But when I first saw it in that little video, I'm like, I see Andrew Garfield jump out, and I'm like, that looks like that looks like a tall Spider-Man, and Tom Holland's not that tall. He takes off his mask. I'm like, yeah, fucking awesome. Yeah, it feels good.
Like I said, for me, just like I said from the beginning, as a fan, I was just happy. I was thrilled and happy. I remember we watched it like a little later, so I didn't get the whole feels from the crowd going, oh, just how we did for Avengers and like that. I now I have my 3 kids and we took them out, as a family time out, which is funny because it was me and my wife who's the one that were like geeking out over it. I remember like hitting her to the side. She's like, I know, Sean, I know. And I was like, I'm sorry. Can I just hit you? Can I just like tap you?
You better be awake.
Yeah, but surprisingly, as much as I was overly excited to see, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, and everyone else, surprisingly, I was really, really happy when I saw fucking Charlie Cox as Deadpool.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Because I'm a good lawyer.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about like just how that world, like the next Netflix adaptation of like the MCU, was so super super dark. Like Punisher, him,
Jessica Jones was so good. Jones.
Yeah,
so
Iron
good.
Fist. Like you think about like how
Iron Fist was shitty though. You can take that back.
I know. Hey man, it was funny though. He does low key look like freaking Josh. He does. Every time I see him, like, me and my wife always see him, like, oh, look, it's Iron Fist.
I can see that. That's hilarious.
I always saw him, like, after, because I'm balls deep in Game of Thrones, too. So, when he showed up as Iron Fist, I was like, oh, you guys got him?
But yeah, no, like, I didn't think that they were gonna ever involve him just because of how dark that world was, in Hell's Kitchen and all
the
that.
street superheroes, right?
Yeah.
Wait, who played Iron Fist from Game of Thrones? Who did he play in Game of Thrones?
He played as the gay prince.
Oh, that was him.
Yes.
I can see that now.
I was about to look it up. I was like,
yeah. I love Game of Thrones. I read all the books too. Hair. Yeah. I was gonna say, the 2 moments that got to me was Aunt May dying. I'm like, man, I felt that. I fucking felt that.
I kind of laughed though when Tom Holland looked her in the face and said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
but yeah, and I love, a lot of people complain about like, oh man, she would just be killed instantly by the glider. But no, I like the fact that you could tell she's in shock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, at first maybe you think she's gonna make it. She's just acting weird because she's shocked. But then when you watch it again, you're like, oh, she's in shock. She is physically damaged. Like, oh my God, that's good acting. That's very good choices they made. And then when she passes away, I actually felt a lot. And I think that's how Tom Holland's Spider-Man won me over with that because that's what I needed to see. I need to see that this is not just a kid. Okay, I guess before that scene, Tom Holland's Spider-Man seemed to me like a kid who just wanted adventure.
Yeah.
There was no mention of Uncle Ben. It's like, oh, Mr. Stark, I want to be just like you. Oh. I mean, I know he didn't say that straight out, but basically that's what he felt.
Yeah.
He wanted adventure. He wanted to be a superhero. Now it's like he lost something. And that is why from now on, if he didn't before, from now on he's going to be putting on the suit for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just like if you tell a Bruce Wayne story, don't mention the parents at all. Just a rich kid going fighting, bad guys. You're like, oh, this is a moody motherfucker putting on the costume and beating up on poor people. That's what he's doing. What's this guy doing? But then you're like, oh, his parents died. Oh, he did? He saw him. He was like 8 years old. Ooh, okay, I get it. It's fucked up. Oh, yeah.
No,
motivation.
It's crazy because for me, the Tom Holland's version, I thought the catalyst was actually when Tony Stark passed at Endgame. When he did the whole Mrs. Stark, we won, and then
right. And see, that doesn't go with me because, again, like, okay, the reason why that doesn't work for me is, and it's gonna sound like elitist, but before, because I've been defensive. I know you guys have too, since you guys were kids. But in the mid-90s, you ask anyone, who's the number one guy in Marvel? Oh, Spider-Man. Yeah. Who's number 2? Wolverine? Maybe. He's X-Men, Iron Man would be like number 15, 20. Like I don't get, like everyone from X-Men would come before Iron Man. Iron Man was like the list when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
And for him to be like, hey kid, you want to be a superhero like me? You gotta work harder. Oh yes, Mr. Stark. I'm like, excuse me, you respect Spider-Man. You pick nothing without Spider-Man.
I get you.
And that's the vibe I got. And I know that's unfair. I know that's unfair because if you showed me Spider-Man, this was the first exposure to Spider-Man I ever had. I'd be with it, probably. But since I knew him in a different light, that's like, I don't know. That's like who's someone very respected right now? Celebrity or fictional right now? Like when you think of high profile respect, LeBron James.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine, I don't know. This is like a stupid comparison, but think of someone who's like an up and comer right now. Who a lot of people are raving about. I'm not a big basketball fan, I admit, but can you guys name like one name that's up and coming, but maybe not as popular as LeBron James?
Luka Doncic.
Okay. 15 years from now, people are like, oh yeah, that guy you just mentioned, oh, he blows LeBron out of the water. Wouldn't you be like, excuse me, respect?
The whole Jordan.
That's kind of like my mentality towards it. Like, please don't make Spider-Man, trying to suck Iron Man's dick. That's the way I see it. I know that's unfair because you guys have a different take on it, and if I saw it in a different light, I would. That's how I feel.
No, and you have a great point. But I think that also, each superhero from that early stage had a lot of like their origins. Like I believe Iron Man was actually before Spider-Man.
That might very well be the case.
And even like with the way that he created his armor, all stuff like that, and like heck, back then when he redid it in the 70s, they had him like escape Vietnam. So he actually had that. They took that same formula, but also did it for the modern world and had him stuck in Afghanistan, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I mean like. Same thing for Batman. I mean, like remember when Batman first started? He had a gun.
Yeah,
and he killed people.
I know like, that things change. I know that things change. I just like imagine a movie where Batman is this young guy being mentored by Shazam. That's kind of that's how I see it. Because again, mid '90s, no one knew who Iron Man was. Yeah. I was a hardcore fan, so I knew who Iron Man was. I actually liked Iron Man a lot when I was a kid.
He had that crappy TV show back in the day.
Yeah, right.
The cartoon. They had the cartoon.
He had a mullet.
He had the mullet. And remember, the Fantastic Four also had that. They had a show.
Yeah,
it was
that's
like
right.
It was
and the Hulk.
Yeah, Silver Surfer. Yeah, and Hulk.
Oh, I'm sorry. And going back to the thing about the Spider-Man and No Way Home. The second part that really made me feel a lot is when Andrew Garfield caught MJ.
Oh,
I was like,
redemption.
So redemption. And I love how they build it up. They're like, Gwen, he talks about how he lost Gwen, and then he sees MJ and Tom Holland Spider-Man bonding, and he's in the background looking at them. And then, Tom Holland jumps after MJ, she's falling down, Green Goblin, swipes him, and then Andrew Garfield's like, I got this, whoop! And he does. Are you okay? Yeah. Are you okay?
That was
That's fantastic.
That was definitely iconic in a sense, and I think like off topic off of that particular scene, but for me, when I'm hoping they actually do, maybe it's just me just wishful thinking because now I want a Miles Morales one, but I would love a Gwen Stacy Spider Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen.
She's so freaking like.
Yes.
I love the outfit. She's so adorable, like especially like Into the Spider-Verse, like the way that they just did her character.
From what I understand, that was the original plan for TASM 3, the Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Really?
That and the Sinister Six. There will be some kind of like multiverse thing where like a Spider-Gwen will show up, and I guess I'm assuming help Spider-Man beat the Sinister Six. So we might still see that.
Hopefully, I mean, like I said, there's still Tom Hardy. As Venom. Again, he has, in my opinion, there has to be a Venom at each world. Tobey Maguire's already has his, that 70s show. Topher Grace.
Right. And you know what's crazy? Like when the first Venom came out, I just kept thinking, man, Tom Hardy as Venom, that would have been perfect for Andrew Garfield if they were kept Andrew Garfield. Yes. Oh well, too bad. Now I'm like, it could happen.
Yeah, you're right.
Could
you're
happen.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so let's do our last two segments here. The first one is hot fire questions. If you remember that used to be not so rapid fire questions. So these are going to be quick questions. If you guys can just answer them as quick as you can, First one is, what was your first job? We'll start with you, Sean.
McDonald's,
McDonald's.
at Avalon.
Hey, let's go. Best one. I actually pretended like I got in an argument there last time just to cause a scene. What about you?
My first job was, I think I moved crates for my brother-in-law's vegetable fruit little shop in downtown LA. I lasted one day.
Oh my god!
They never asked me to come back.
So side note, real quick.
I didn't want to do it.
The side note about the McDonald's thing. I actually used to put chicken nuggets on my in my pocket. And I was in between my shifts.
One does.
Yeah, I hella got fat at that one. Like, my wife used to hella dog me on that. It's like, hey, Mr. Nuggets in your pocket.
So when you take them out, would there be lint there, or you be like taking out the lint?
Yeah. The best one was the McGriddle breads. The McGriddle breads were the best. Cause
and
like,
you put that in your pocket?
Yes!
I know. Put it in your pocket.
Yeah, it was so embarrassing, but I remember like putting it in the cause they had a toaster, but the way the toaster was, it slid. You just slid it through and it was like immediately came out toasted. Oh, so I would grab it and I was like put it in my pocket and like slowly like eat it. Damn, that was bad. That was bad, dude.
Life hack.
Yeah.
Hashtag life hack.
Yeah. All right, you guys have any hidden talents?
Gosh, I'm still thinking about this.
I wouldn't call it a talent because you have to be good at talents. I'm not saying I'm a terrible artist or anything like that, but I do draw.
Nice.
I've been doing it since I was a kid, and I don't think it's like anything like if I show it to you, you'd be like, oh, that's terrible. That's like a 5-year-old could do better. But it's not like for a guy who's been doing it since he was middle school, he should be better. It's one of those things, yeah.
I guess for me, because again, for me, dance is life. And now that I'm older, I don't really not as explosive and not as dynamic as I used to be. But actually, my brother-in-law or my little brother, RJ, he actually introduced me to gloving. I'm actually a glover. In the
What's a glover?
You got pretty much gloves with lights on it, and it pretty much changes to different colors, but you mix in a lot of like tutting, in popping, like you do liquid and stuff like that, and tutting, but you do it with your hands. But because of my dance background, I fell in love with it. And just like jujitsu, like for me, the arts of dance and martial arts go so hand in hand with me. So for me, I always kept an open mind with breakdancing. I kept an open mind with jiu-jitsu, which I still do as a brown belt. I don't care if I see a white belt do something that I'm interested in. Please show me. I would rather be a jiu-jitsu nerd than a self-entitled higher belt and just like, we don't do that here because of this and that. Like, no, please show me, because it's an endless journey that you're going to learn. And that's how I look at gloving is that I'm this 37-year-old dude who is seeing a lot of young kids, teenagers and early 20s and 30s, just gloving, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, show me that, show me this, and heck, like now my wife does it too. It's one of the coolest things for me in the rave scene and even in life.
You should get your black belt and then like have a class of dance jiu-jitsu. Dance jiu-jitsu should be gloving while doing jiu-jitsu in the dark.
Bet. I would do it.
That would be amazing.
Dance jitsu.
Dance jitsu.
I do mark that shit.
Love dance jitsu.
What's funny is the parents now the kids are getting older, they're just like, can you teach our kids how to dance? Because they're going to like their first high school parties, and like they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. So I'm just like, yeah, of course I'll teach them how to dance. Just teach them how to two-step and stuff like that. But it's just like I said, it's funny.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. All right, you guys already told your favorite superhero. That was question 3. So how about we do your favorite grappler?
Gosh, I can name
or judoka with any choice.
Or any grappler, yeah. Sean Paul. Jeez, you know what's weird? I'm the kind of guy I like doing rather than watching. Like when I was a kid, I used to love playing baseball and softball, but I used to hate watching baseball. I don't think ever.
So hard to watch.
Yeah. But I think I'm the same with. And so I'm not saying I don't have a favorite one. I like Jimmy Pedro. I love Hoist Gracie. I'm sorry, I'm old school. Are they the best? And If we include George St. Pierre, he's my favorite fighter of all time. If you want to include him,
he's always above average.
You know, and I know that these are a lot of mainstream guys. I mean, maybe not Jimmy Pedro, but these are a lot of mainstream guys. But that's exactly it. I'm not the kind of guy who's a Sunday warrior and like checks up on stats and who's winning what and who's I am just not. I used to love Frank Mir when he was on top of his grappling game in MMA.
Time, man.
I am so upset with how he's deteriorating right now.
Poor guy. Yeah, it was definitely
his knockout in the boxing.
Yeah, it was
he literally did like that to finish him thing.
Yeah, he did the
combat.
Yeah,
he's like moving around.
He
like,
did do the finish him dance.
God.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Met him too. But nice guy. But
I do wish for the best for that guy. He's such a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Damian Maia. I do like Damian Maia.
Nice.
Damian Maia is fucking amazing.
The human backpack.
Yeah.
God damn it. Yeah. You know what? He really impresses me because the same reason I criticize him, because he has not evolved his striking skills that much, that he depends solely on jiu-jitsu to actually grind out victories or submit. And he does such a fantastic job, given the fact that he has no chance of knocking anyone out, but the other guy clearly has a chance of knocking him out. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if he's ever been knocked out. Has he been ever knocked out?
Wait, who?
Maybe
Damian Maia.
TKO, but not knocked out.
Not been knocked out.
Cold.
I don't think so. But he did get TKO'd by Gilbert Burns.
See, that's amazing. Yeah. He stayed conscious.
Yeah,
and he's a terrible striker. He's a pure grappler.
I mean, he fought possibly the greatest of like the generations is Anderson Silva. I mean, it was a boring fight, but I mean, heck, he hung there with the GOAT.
Not knocked out by Anderson Silva, so that's amazing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Crap. This is hard, but I mean, like past, present, future. I guess for me, I can go past, present, future. For the past, I go for Marcelo Garcia. Nice. Present, present is so hard. It breaks my heart. But I think for me, as a 37-year-old man who, at this part of your sport or at this art where people tend to like want to be more traditional, which, don't get me wrong, basics is king. Basics is king, fundamentals. Yeah. But what makes me more motivated and just keeps me wanting to learn more and just keep an open mind, Mikey Musumeci.
Man.
Musumeci is,
cool.
I mean, like, he's up there for me. I mean, I have this joke where in Filipino or Tagalog, Lolo means grandfather. So some people call me the Bolo Lolo, which, old man, pretty much old man Bolo. Like, for 37 years, like me and James, like we would always drill Barambolos all the time. And I think one of the biggest inspirations to that for me, minus James, because James is always going to be part of my life, is Mikey. Mikey has always been is the reason why I want to continue evolving my game into a more modernize it, but still keep it traditional. And in future, gosh, that one's hard too. But I guess there's a dude named Josh Cisneros. Newly got black belt, Filipino dude. Well, cool. Filipino I love him too. But I mean, Rutolos. I mean, Annie Murasaki. I mean, heck, Annie Murasaki's because when I first started jiu-jitsu, I was always a passer. Always passing, pass, because that's just how it was. Yeah. But now it's like, as I've gotten older, it's like now I'm able to appreciate the just everything about it, the full spectrum of
the full game.
Yeah, the full spectrum of jiu-jitsu. But yeah, I can go on and on. But if you were to put a gun in my head and like, yo, pick your past, present, future. Like I said, Marcelo Garcia, Musumeci, and then I guess future. I'm gonna go ahead and say Andy Murasaki.
Nice.
Can I change my? My answer?
Who takes you back to I'm just kidding.
My favorite grappler is John Cena.
I've actually never seen him grapple before.
Dude. I got tape, bro.
Is it just an invisible
video? One guy being thrown around.
An invisible being thrown around.
Oh man, you just see a guy laying on the ground.
Yeah.
All right, if you got the chance to choose your own superpower, what would that be?
Oh, jeez. Batman's superpower, being a billionaire.
Nice.
Heck, I'm gonna go ahead and go outside of the comic book realm and Dragon Ball Z. I mean, heck, be a Saiyan.
Nice.
The fact that you can fly, you can throw, pretty much fireballs or energy beams and stuff like that, and still like and then yell.
Just yell.
Yeah.
For like three episodes.
Yeah.
So many Dragon Ball.
You mean 15 to summon the spirit bomb? I mean, come on. I know I love Naruto. Naruto's my life, but yeah, I mean, if you're gonna give me powers, I would love to be a Dragon Ball or a Saiyan.
It's like, how do they find these many open canyons?
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude. How
Throw me
many?
up in the Grand Canyon.
How many forms do you have, bro?
It's like, I lost track. Oh, one thing about Dragon Ball Z is that I love that, again, they're like charging up and they're like talking to each other, saying something, ha ha, my power is greater than yours. And then it goes up to the other guy,
The friends.
And then back
the
to
friends are watching.
Right. I'm like watching this, I'm like, this is oddly erotic.
This isn't my final form.
I'm like, this is for kids. Really? I don't know.
It's a different understanding when you live over 9,000.
9,000.
All right. What's your favorite food?
I think it depends on the day. Sometimes something's better than a good old pizza. Usually I love sushi. Usually I would say sushi, but I love roasted duck. If it's tender
That's vibes.
and juicy,
That's
yeah.
vibes. I think for me, it's the full spectrum of Japanese food. And I love sushi, but I do love my curry. I do love my tempura udon. I do love my ramen. Then again, that's the reason why I watch a lot of anime. But yeah, no, I mean, I keck like Omoide off of Rainbow and Robindale.
Oh yes, yeah.
Dude, like amazing curry. Actually, no, the best katsu curry in my opinion is actually Tonkatsu Kiyoshi off of if hopefully it's still there. That's how long I haven't been there in a while, but it's off of Robindale and Jones. But Omoide is amazing too. I mean, yeah, for me, Japanese in general, not in sense of like just sushi, but like all that.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Let's go. When you think of the word nostalgia, what pops in your mind right away?
Jeez. It's actually nothing from my family. Well, this is actually more personal than anything mainstream. My family used to have barbecues back in LA when we lived there. My uncle's place, and it's one of those. Like it kind of reminds me. You guys seen The Godfather, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know that scene where they're getting married, that they come before the storm, they're all happy and united. No one has anything against each other, everybody's alive. Looking back, I'm like, oh man, so and so passed away. Oh, so and so they got divorced. So and so they're not together. I haven't seen my cousins in years. Blah, blah, blah. I don't even talk to that cousin anymore. And that's the first thing I think. I think about those drives from I think it was North Hollywood down to Norwalk, and then back, and then my stepdad and my mom, and then my uncle. Yes, I remember my uncle once had he had like a boar's head. Maybe it was just a pig, but it looked like a fucking boar. I was little, so maybe it was just a pig's head over there in a slab, and he was like roasting it and whatnot. I'm just looking at it, I'm like, this is macabre. So things like that, playing with my cousins, throwing boomerangs at them, playing N64, things like that.
Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think from a family's perspective, nostalgia for me, from a family's perspective is like playing tag or play wrestling with my cousins. And actually I would always tell my wife about the stories like of us like playing wrestling and getting hurt like hell. And like my wife, dude, I remember getting like one of my cousins got thrown off the bed and like seeing the ragdoll effect on him and like us falling off the bed. I remember my wife always be like, where was your parents? I was like, you know what? I don't know.
All the adults were together, the kids were together.
For real. That's from a family's perspective. I think for me, from a more individual perspective, was just similar times of like, when I first started breakdancing and just a little kid just being very interested in wanting to dance. Because I think like for me, dance was there's this wall that we for people who want to learn how to dance but are too scared to, there's this like, I just think this is like this blockage that you go through, and I'll always remember that for me as a dancer, like doing my first two-step, or you know what I mean, doing my first gangsta walk, you know what I mean, like doing all that stuff like that. I remember like just having to force myself to break the wall. But yeah, I think about nostalgia as an individual, and as a you know, as a married person is you know, it's crazy to think that I now have a teenager. But yeah, just seeing the early days of parenting and kind of seeing the struggles that we had, and seeing where we are now. And I think for a lot of new parents that are listening to this, is that you'll never be ready, but just know that always worry and just care. You know, I think if you care, you're and you want to. I think automatically just you caring and worrying is more than enough. Knowing the fact that you're doing good in parenting because you actually want to do something about it. Yeah. You know, so yeah. Sorry, I always have like a 3-part to everything.
No, I love it. Okay. I love it. Okay. All right, let's see. If you could reboot any role and you were the star, what role would that be?
Oh, Bane, I think.
Bane.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Bane in the comics was first introduced as Cuban.
And a luchador.
And luchador. Yeah. And then later on it's like, oh, he's half white. He has a white dad. Okay. And then he's played not by one, but 2 white people. And nothing against white people. Love everybody. But this is a Latin role, you know? And there's not a lot of, as an actor, I could say, I still need to be a martial artist to pay the bills. And gladly, because I love martial arts just as much as acting. So I'm happy with that. But a lot of roles made for Latin people are not, you know, and the whole thing, oh, you're Latin, you're going to get a lot of roles because, you know, look, you're going through a boom. This Latin boom, I'm sorry, it's not, it's a swell, you know, it's not.
It's just a flash in the pan, would you say?
Maybe it is increasing, but it's not increasing to the rate where like, oh my God, I'm bombarded by roles, you know, and such. Yeah. And for Bane to never be played by anything but white actors, great white actors, by the way. Well, Tom Hardy was great. The other 2 actors from Batman and Robin, questionable. And I love Tom Hardy. You know, my hat's off to him. But yeah, this Latin character should remain Latin.
I was going to say, if you saw Young Justice and you actually get to see Bane, holy crap, amazing! Like he had the accent and everything.
Yep. Oh, good.
You know, like I love it. So if you ever do watch Young Justice and
he's played by Latino there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
The accent and everything, it's amazing.
Yeah, and I just think it's a shame because we don't get a lot of Hispanic or Latin representation in comic books, and for that character to be kind of whitewashed, I'm like, well, you know, I would love to play him, but honestly, it's not so much that I want to play him, but I want a Latin guy to play him. Next, you know.
I'd say the same, but they gave us Aquaman, so I can't complain.
Yeah, we did get Shang-Chi, so, you know.
We trade you Bane for Aquaman.
That's like a draft.
The delegation.
I know, right? Oh, like a
big delegation, but we insist on having Catwoman returned as well.
That's true.
That is fair.
I know if you think about us Filipinos, we do have Dante Bosco as Prince Zuko.
Yes, you know
what I mean?
Yes,
and then Ernie Reyes Jr. as Kino from freaking Ninja Turtles Part 2.
Kino.
Yep, Kino, man. Hey, man, actually, he's going through some shit right now. I think he just had I think he has a liver or kidney transplant.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's doing bad right now, and I think he's in Arizona, and they're doing like a GoFundMe in terms of to get to pay for medical bills. Yeah, for Ernie Reyes Jr. Kwansu. But so yeah, So if you guys are listening to this, you know, if you can, you know, take the time and maybe donate. I mean, heck, like I don't know the guy, but I mean, just to hear these sad stories. I mean, I know everyone around the world's going through it too, but I mean, you know, it's just crazy to see.
The medical system here sucks.
Yeah, right. But no, like just seeing a childhood, like, you know, kid that, you know, as me as a child, seeing this little kid, like, oh, you know, you're just like, oh my gosh, I want to do that too. And like, hence also why I'm in martial arts too, which I didn't really explain is, as a child, I was that kid who used to watch all the Van Damme movies, who used to watch all the Steven Seagal movies, used to watch Power Rangers. I remember I used to get made fun of in elementary because I used to go, see, and I'm just like, you know what? Look where I'm at now. See,
motherfuckers.
I didn't even talk about the role.
It's okay.
Crap. Fuck it. I can't really think of anyone, but maybe if they redo.
Take Robin for us. Come on, take Robin for us. All right.
Fine. Actually, yeah, no, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, I would love for them to redo Robin. And I think I would love him to be an Asian American role. I know Dick
totally
Grayson.
see that.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think Dick Grayson, obviously we see him as this brunette, Caucasian person, but I think that let's be real, like we're in America, we are the melting pot of the whole world. So I would love to get
And if
one.
anybody says Dick Grayson's not a Filipino name, well, Marlon Brando played a Japanese guy with prosthetics back in the 60s or 50s.
I do remember, yeah.
And Moon Over the Tea or something like that, some movie like that. So if that could happen back then, now is the time for Filipino Dick Grayson.
I would love that. Yeah, no, definitely Dick Grayson as a film or Asian American descent. I would love to see that.
That's dope.
Yeah. But you do got Jason Momoa. Man.
They gave us that.
Yeah. Have you seen that man without the beard though? When he's talking about Baywatch, I think Baywatch Hawaii, like Nights or something like that. There's like a spin-off of Baywatch.
He was in that?
Yeah, he was like Baywatch Nights or something like that. Yes, he was like a clean shaved baby face boy.
Well, you could see him clean shaving Conan. The remake.
Yeah.
Oh, was he in that?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was Conan.
Holy crap!
I know.
He was clean shaved and super young in Family Johnson Family Vacation. You ever saw that?
No,
With Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Oh my gosh,
plays
I
an
remember
Indian
that.
guy in there.
Holy crap, Jason Momoa!
He was like, you can go this way.
Freaking Jason Momoa, dude.
All right, and then the last one, actually two more. Second to last, what's your favorite submission?
Ooh. Clock choke.
Clock choke.
Yeah, I just get it all the time, and it's so fun. It's so fun to get it. I don't understand why I enjoy it so much, but I enjoy that one. Yeah. Next time I tap someone with that, it's like, you're enjoying this, you bitch. Right? No, I swear I'm not. I am.
I guess my go-to, because I always hit it at tournaments, is just the paper cutter.
Paper cutter's good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, that's one of my favorite ones. I mean, if it's something I can actually want to do, I would love to pull off more Ezekiel's or like
flying armbar.
That's the thing too. It's funny. Like I guess I always go off of the ideology of what Grandmaster Elio Gracie says. Like a strong man you break a strong man's arm, he's gonna keep going. You break a strong man's leg, they're gonna keep going. But no one's strong through the choke.
Yeah.
Not like the strong man is not strong enough for a choke. They're going out. Yeah. And you go to that 10 second of the hold, they're going out. Mm-hmm. And that's for me, that was my ideology as a jiu-jitsu guy. And I would still love to open it up to like, joint locks and, like obviously Kimuras and Americanas, wrist locks, heel hooks, all that. But I think, for me, yeah, just chokes. Yeah. But yeah, nice. Paper cutter.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And then the very last one, this is a kind of tough one. If you could give me in 3 to 5 words any advice you would give your younger self now, what would that be?
Don't do it. Stop it. That's
Get your hand off of that.
Take your hands off.
Stop playing with your pinky.
Keep touching it.
Stop playing
with your how many is that?
That's 5. Now, I would say in a more serious manner is be patient. I think I was always, and maybe it's the way I was raised, of like always expecting something right away. And it's not necessarily of like being spoiled. I wasn't spoiled or anything. It's just like the way I was raised. Like maybe my dad, like when he wanted something right away, or he wanted something. He wanted to know something. He wanted to know it right away. I think for me, like when I think the struggles and the downfalls that I had as a young adult, even teenager, was just I was always eager. And I was always like trying to push for it right away, and seeing where it's shaped me as a person, and knowing the fact that holy crap, be patient.
Love it.
If I have to be serious about it, probably think about it more. Yeah, because I'm believe it or not, I'm not a total idiot. I like to think I'm an intelligent enough person, and like I said, I studied, I have a degree in psychology, blah blah blah, and I actually got. I'm not trying to pat my own back or anything like that, but I was a substitute teacher years ago, and you have to take these courses, and I got a D once for Nevada State Educational Law or something like that. So it's one of those requiems that you have to do in order to become a substitute teacher or to get it renewed. And I got a D, so I had to do it again. So I studied my ass off, and I got it 100%. And when I turned in my paper, before I knew I had 100%, the two people who are the test takers or who oversee the testing, they look at each other, they look at me, and they're like, come over here. I'm like, something wrong? It's like, we never seen anyone get 100%. You just got 100%. I'm like, wow, cool. It's tough to get 100%. I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. And I'm sure other people have gotten 100%. Yeah. It's just that they never seen 100%. And that meant a lot to me because I studied my ass off. So I can think and think well, but I am very much a man of action. And I think my biggest core flaw, is that I'm quick to pull the trigger without aiming sometimes, because sometimes I just go with what I'm feeling at the moment or what is presented to me. And I've learned over the years to stop, think, okay, is this the opportunity you want, Cesar? You want to take it all? For instance, the CES thing that I'm doing, I was just telling before we started the podcast, telling Sean, man, I'm doing CES, I'm being a brand ambassador again. I hate being a brand ambassador. I'm making $1,000 for 3 days of work, which is cool, but I'm miserable. And again, I took it because I'm thinking, man, I'm about to get married, and I want to save as much money as I can. I'll take the $1,000. I'll go ahead and do those 3 days. I'll be miserable. But looking back, I'm like, now I kind of lost a week of just being able to do things I want to do, making less money maybe, but I wish I would spend more time thinking about it. Is it really worth it? You're going to be miserable for 3 days, Cesar. And I think that's kind of the lesson I could give myself back then. I still have to learn now. Hold up. Before you pull the trigger, aim. What are you aiming for? What are you trying to do, Cesar? And I would tell that to myself. Okay, what do you want in the moment? And are you doing what you need to do in order to accomplish that? I'm not sure if you did or not, And I think I still have to learn that lesson. So, yeah.
Congratulations, by the way.
Well, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Congrats. And for the very last segment, that was wrapping up Hot Fire questions. For the very last segment is going to be threes. So threes is basically Mount Rushmore on any specific category. For this one is your top 3 pop culture movies, one from the 80s, one from the 90s, and one from the 2000s. This was very tough for me to put together. So I'll start it off first. My 80s movie is Coming to America.
Hey, she's your queen.
I just saw that again for the first time in years.
Just taste the soup.
That's a good one. Oh, 80s still? Okay.
Yeah, 80s.
Batman. Fucking love Batman. I'll tell you why
89.
Batman means a lot to me. Okay, so in Mexico, I'm sorry, I'm gonna make this quick.
No, you're good.
Mexico, he was known as Bruno Diaz. Yeah. Bruno Diaz, el hombre murciélago. That's how I knew him. When I came to this country, I didn't know shit about anyone or anything I was seeing on TV, but I'm like, el hombre murciélago, Bruno Diaz, Bruce Wayne, Batman. I know him. And when I saw the movie, I just fell in love with it. That was so romantic. That's and, awesome. With Vicky Vale and such. So it was like one of those pop culture things I can relate to from Mexico that.
Yeah. Old school Kim
Felt
Basinger, though. Wait, crap. It's not my turn. My bad. 80s. I'm going to say it, and I'll say it again. I'll keep saying it. Bloodsport.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yes,
I fought to survive. Okay, USA.
Okay, USA.
That's right.
Oh my god.
I can quote this for another hour. Actually, so I should keep my mouth shut.
Okay. The whole podcast based on that.
From the 90s. So one from the 90s. Mine is Encino Man. But honorable mention, Blank Man. Blank Man is the shit.
I remember Other Man, right? Was the other guy? Other guy. J5. But Encino Man was dope though. Dude, old, yeah. Is it Pauly Shore's from Torrance or Carson?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Oh shit.
He's from Torrance. He's from the South Bay. But yeah, one of my favorite quotes from Encino Man was "Wheezing the juice." Yeah.
You go next, Sean, because I'm still thinking about it.
Okay. 90s. Crap. My boy Elmer, me and him always quote this. I'm gonna go White Men Can't Jump.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah. I'll extend my hospitality to you. I'm just leave it up here.
Shout out to our boy Elmer.
I'm such a goddamn Batman nerd. I would say Batman Returns, but I don't want to do that because I already mentioned it. I might be cheating because this might be 1989, but I think it was 1990. So I'm going to just go with Christmas Vacation. Because that, do you remember
that's 90s. That's 90s.
Yes, good. Christmas Vacation.
Hold on, let me double check this.
Because I fucking love that movie. That's my favorite Christmas movie of all time, Christmas Vacation. And I think that's like, I just have such fun memories watching that in the theaters. But we're going to check if this is legal or not. We'll see if the referees accept it or not.
I'll go ahead and move on to my 2000s.
Oh no, 1989.
Damn it! 1989. Damn it! Gave us Ghostbusters 2 as well. God damn it. Oh,
wait,
fuck.
Ghostbusters 2 is
89, I believe, yeah.
Hey, by the way, I got shunned by my mom tonight because I've never seen a Ghostbusters movie before.
How fucking dare you?
And she was like, I did not raise you.
I did not raise you.
Actually, my very first my first family Halloween costume was we were the Ghostbusters, and my eldest son Maverick was the ghost.
Dope.
That was my favorite card.
Dope.
Oh, it just hit me. Oh my god, Fight Club.
Fight
Oh,
Club.
hell yeah, dude.
Fight Club.
Hello, yeah,
Tyler
Fight
Durden.
Club and American Psycho. Those two movies.
Ooh.
Yeah,
American
tied.
Psycho's good.
Yeah.
American Psycho and Fight Club.
I mean, honorable mention 7. What in the
Oh,
bar?
Seven!
What in the bar?
Who's in the bar? The cake.
All right, now from the 2000s, my number one and my favorite movie of all time is Rush Hour 2.
Ooh,
Really?
that was
Yes.
good.
I gotta check that out. I haven't seen
It's
either.
amazing.
My
gotta
favorite
check it
one.
Gosh.
I know. Who kicked me?
Which one of y'all kicked me?
Yeah.
Gosh, if you can think of something, because I'm still running through my brain.
2000s, right?
Yes.
Gosh, there were so many good movies during that year. You know, I can't think of a single one of them.
It was tough, man. I had to pull up the list, everything.
God, and I'm trying to stay away from like.
Batman.
Yeah, Batman Begins, baby, and Dark Knight. Come the fuck on. I should just exclude Batman.
So okay, so are we going 2000s between 2000 and 2010, or are we going like
2000,
okay.
2010.
Okay. Ooh.
No, I didn't. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Seeing what Batman Begins.
No.
With Liam Neeson?
He was an amazing Ra's al Ghul. I'm just saying.
He was amazing. He was. Oh my. Let's just like name off a bunch of movies because I think that helps.
I'll look up.
You
a
have
list.
Memento, Insomnia, and any Christopher Nolan movies.
Yeah, old school.
Those are great. Gosh. And of course, you have the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah,
If
like
we're talking
V
about
for
pop culture,
Vendetta.
V for
That was
Vendetta.
pretty dope.
Pirates of the
pretty good.
Caribbean.
Oh, God, I hated those movies.
Crouching Tiger,
Sorry.
Hidden Dragon.
That was a good one too. Gosh, maybe there isn't anything great from the 2000s.
How dare you? They put The Notebook at number 3.
No, bro, come the fuck on.
I'm sorry, but Mandy Moore.
Oh, of course. What the fuck am I thinking? Oh, yes. Oh, God. All right. Okay. So there's a few. And I can't think of their freaking names. First of all, we have the one with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jack Nicholson.
Departed.
The Departed.
Yeah,
that was fucking amazing. And I think a year before or after, we also had the one with The Ruby Blood.
Ooh.
Those two movies are I gotta say, those two movies are probably the best movies that came out during the 2000s.
What was it? What about No Country for Old Men?
I do appreciate that one, but I think these two are above it.
They were
personally.
saying the villain in No Country for Old Men. The guy,
Javier Bardem.
yeah, they said that was
Work with him, by the way.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
what? Oh my
This
gosh.
commercial.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome. I mean, heck, I'll take the badge of honor for that. No, like they say, like his character adaptation is like the closest thing to a real psycho.
Really?
Yeah. That like really changed. Like, whoa, this like took me by surprise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh, I guess 2000s. I was gonna joke. I was like, "You got served." No. You got served.
What is that? Eugene something Johnson the third.
Another one that came out around 2008, I think, was W by Oliver Stone, and that's about George W. Bush, and
Yeah.
that guy has such an effect in my young adulthood that President did. That I think that's a great movie to watch to understand what happened. Because I think, he was controversial. Let's put it that way. And W actually, I don't think explains anything because Oliver Stone took a lot of liberties. But it's an interesting watch to kind of like come to cope to what happened during the 2000s, I guess.
Let's check that out.
Yeah.
For me, I guess I'll lighten up the mood. Okay, I actually do have one. 4-Year-Old Virgin.
Nice.
Yes. Or Pineapple Express was good too.
Oh, that was good too. But I love
I think that's the 2010.
Is it?
Yeah, 2010. No, 2008.
Oh, okay.
So I just moved from Vegas when I
you're right. You're right.
I know a good one was Tropic Thunder.
Oh,
yes,
that's 2008 too. That's 2008. But for me, 4-Year-Old Virgin, like it's the quotes, man. Like just like the Indian news, like I cannot take the sheath out of the boot until it spills a blood. Aim high, Willis. Aim high.
Oh, good God.
Oh man, so that's gonna conclude threes. Again, I just want to say thank you guys for coming on, man. This was a fun podcast.
Again.
No, I'm honored. I guess like this is my first podcast. I'm definitely feeling the high of it. I'm stoked. I can go on forever if we had the opportunity, but I got kids. I'm probably gonna get home. I'm already getting in trouble. I get the look when I walk in the door.
The death stare.
Yep.
They were holding me back. They did no traffic.
I hit every red light.
Robbed.
Yeah. So James was showing me a move, and James wasn't even there.
No, but again, thank you, Sean. My good friend, I mean, I know I've told you the story before, but I would have never walked in here if it wasn't for you. I was outside the door looking, seeing all these people roll, and I was so scared to come in here.
Really,
Sean welcomed me in the doors, introduced me to James, and I got to sign up. So thank you for that.
Oh man,
would not be here without you.
That means a lot to me. I think as we grow older, I think one of the I don't say priorities, but one of the things I would love to do more often as I get older and yeah, again, like with everything happening in the world and kind of like losing ourselves a little bit, I think no matter what, I always want to make sure I leave a positive impact on and everyone I come to meet with, whether we have a fallout later off in life or you just don't like who I am. I just want to make sure that I'm that person who just, because let's be real, not everyone's gonna like you. That's something I learned, unfortunately, at a later part of my life. But I think that if you're able to leave that positive impact on someone's life, to kind of change their life, like that's just remarkable, you know. And I would love to do that more. So
definitely did that for me, and same thing for you, Hefe, man. I remember the first time I met you too. It was the day nobody showed up. It was me, Mitch, Josh Bleeker, and you. And that was it. And that was when we were still Gracie Muay Thai. I was a white belt, and I remember you took me to the side and showed me so many different moves, man.
Did I?
Yes, and I never forget that. Never forget that. Made me feel welcome. You're a higher belt, so I was like, okay, somebody's taking notice of me. So it was cool, man. Thank you, for
dude.
that.
I'm telling, like, even like when I first, like I said, that's why I used to call you Leonidas. Like when I first met you, then I got to know you more. I'm like, yeah, definitely, woo.
That's right. What can I say? I'm a swell guy. I can be a dick sometimes, but
hey, when you're wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing, son of a gun, I get it.
No, but thank you, Sean Paul, Atos, Jiu-Jitsu brown belt.
Thank you, guys.
Cesar Lazcano.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Sean.
Black belt from Atos. Again, thank you guys so much for coming. If you could plug your social medias one more time before you end this off.
Yeah, if you want to check out my family life and my rave life, Shawnee Boy SP. If you want to check out my jiu-jitsu journey, my fitness journey, or just sometimes I'll confuse it too, but BJJ Champaru _SP. Again, that's BJJ Champaru _SP.
Awesome.
At the goddamn Hefe on Instagram, and Cesar Alejandro Lazcano on Facebook and all that good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you guys again for coming. This has been awesome. The Monikkz Project. This will be out on all podcast platforms and on YouTube, so look out for that. And thank you guys for coming.
Of course, thank you.
And we out. Peace.
Yeah, hey, check it out. So what you doing? Sorry. I'm just trying to practice my bass voice. My bass. Hey, baby.
Yeah, just don't practice your Dragon Ball.
You got him, bass.